The moment Sophia's perfectly manicured finger jabbed into my chest in the middle of the school fundraiser, I knew everyone was watching. "You're nothing but a loser single dad who can't even afford new shoes for our daughter," she hissed, loud enough for the cluster of PTA parents to hear. What she didn't know was that my boss, Billionaire tech CEO Eliza Chen, was standing right behind her. And what happened next changed everything. Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on today's story. If you've ever felt judged or underestimated, this one's for you. Hit that like button if you've ever wished for a moment of perfect revenge against someone who put you down, and subscribe for more stories that'll have you cheering from your seat. My name is Jack Harmon, and 6 months ago, I was drowning. Not literally, though some days that might have been easier, but drowning in responsibility, exhaustion, and the crushing weight of trying to be both mom and dad to my 8-year-old daughter, Lily. The divorce hadn't been my idea. Sophia had decided 3 years ago that being married to a graphic designer with limited potential wasn't the life she'd signed up for. She'd met a real estate developer at a charity gala, the kind I was never invited to, and within 6 months, she'd moved out of our modest suburban home and into his downtown penthouse. The custody arrangement gave me Lily during the week, with Sophia taking her every other weekend when she wasn't too busy with her new life. It worked for us, mostly because Lily and I had always been close. But financially? I was barely treading water. I'd been working at the same mid-sized marketing firm for 7 years when everything changed. Our company was acquired by Horizon Technologies, a cutting-edge tech giant run by Eliza Chen, a 36-year-old self-made billionaire known for her brilliant mind and take-no-prisoners approach to business. The acquisition sent ripples of fear through our office. Rumors of layoffs spread like wildfire. When my manager called me into his office 3 weeks after the takeover, I was certain I was getting cut. Instead, he told me something that made my heart stop. "Jack, Eliza Chen personally requested to see your portfolio. She wants to meet with you tomorrow morning." I spent that night in a panic, updating my portfolio until 3 a.m. while Lily slept soundly in her room. I couldn't lose this job. Not with a daughter to support and child support payments that already stretched my budget to breaking point. The next morning, I dropped Lily at school and headed to the gleaming Horizon Technologies headquarters downtown. My ancient Honda Civic looked comically out of place in the executive parking garage. Eliza Chen's office occupied the entire top floor of the building. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city, and her minimalist desk looked like it cost more than my monthly rent. But it was Eliza herself who commanded attention the moment I walked in. She wasn't what I expected. No power suit or intimidating heels. Instead, she wore simple dark jeans and a cashmere sweater, her straight black hair cut in a precise bob. She was reviewing something on a tablet, and when she looked up, her dark eyes seemed to see right through me. "Jack Harmon," she said, setting down her tablet. "Your work on the Westfield campaign was exceptional." I blinked in surprise. The Westfield campaign had been a small project I'd led last year, nothing flashy, just clean, effective design work for a local business. "Thank you, Ms. Chen. I'm surprised you've seen it." "I make it my business to recognize talent," she said simply. "And please, call me Eliza. I've reviewed your entire portfolio. You have a unique eye, you find the emotional core of a brand and bring it forward. That's rare." For the next hour, we discussed design philosophy, marketing trends, and my approach to various campaigns. It felt more like a conversation between colleagues than a meeting with the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Then, abruptly, she changed direction. "Tell me about your personal situation, Jack." I hesitated. "What would you like to know?" "You're a single parent, correct? I noticed you've requested flexible hours several times in the past year." My stomach dropped. This was it, the real reason for the meeting. My family situation made me a liability. Yes, I have an 8-year-old daughter. My ex-wife and I share custody, but I have her during the week. Eliza nodded, making a note on her tablet. And how do you manage deadlines with those constraints? I've never missed a deadline, I said, perhaps too defensively. I work after Lily goes to bed if necessary. But I try to be efficient during office hours so I can be present for her. To my surprise, Eliza smiled. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Jack, I'm creating a new position, creative director for our special projects division. The role requires someone who can think differently, who understands emotional connection, and who values efficiency. I want you for this position. I stared at her, certain I'd misheard. I'm sorry, what? The salary is triple what you're making now. You'll report directly to me, and yes, you'll have the flexible hours you need for your daughter. I believe in work-life integration, not work-life balance. The best creative minds need space to breathe. I left that meeting in a daze, clutching a contract that would transform my life. That night, I sat on the edge of Lily's bed as she showed me her homework, fighting back tears. For the first time since the divorce, I felt like I could breathe. The next 3 months were a whirlwind. My new role challenged me in ways I'd never imagined, but Eliza was an incredible mentor. She pushed me hard but always recognized good work. More surprisingly, she took a genuine interest in my life outside the office. "How's Lily doing with her science project?" she'd ask during our morning meetings. Or, "Did you find a reliable after-school program yet?" I was surprised by how much she remembered about my personal life, but I chalked it up to her famous attention to detail. What I didn't realize was that something else was developing between us, something neither of us had planned. It started with late nights at the office, working on a major campaign launch. Takeout dinners at her desk turned into conversations that drifted far from work. I learned about her childhood in a working-class neighborhood in San Francisco, raised by a single mother who worked 3 jobs. She heard about my struggles with Sophia, my fears about being enough for Lily. One night, as we were packing up to leave around midnight, she paused. "Jack, would you like to have dinner sometime?" "Not here." "At a restaurant." Without spreadsheets or mock-ups. The question caught me completely off guard. "Are you asking me on a date?" She smiled, a rare moment of uncertainty crossing her face. "I believe I am." "Is that inappropriate?" "No," I said quickly. "Just unexpected." "I don't do expected very well," she replied. "Is that a yes?" It was. And that dinner led to another, and another. We kept our relationship strictly professional at work. Eliza was adamant about that, but outside the office, something beautiful was growing. Lily met her for the first time at a casual Saturday lunch, and to my relief, they connected immediately over a shared love of space and astronomy. "Your boss knows more about black holes than my science teacher," Lily informed me that night, clearly impressed. Life was looking up. My financial situation had stabilized. Lily was thriving. And I was falling in love with a woman who saw me, really saw me, for the first time in years. Then came the school fundraiser. Westfield Elementary's annual spring gala was the biggest fundraising event of the year. Parents bid on auction items, teachers ran game booths, and the PTA served overpriced cupcakes, all to raise money for new playground equipment. I'd volunteered to run the ring toss booth, while Lily was helping at the face painting station. I hadn't expected Sophia to show up. These school functions weren't usually her scene, but there she was, draped in designer clothes with her boyfriend, Richard, in tow. I spotted them from across the gymnasium and immediately tensed. We'd been getting along better recently, mainly communicating through text about Lily's schedule, but face-to-face interactions were still strained. "Daddy!" Lily came running over, her face flushed with excitement. "Can I have $5 for the cakewalk?" I reached for my wallet, acutely aware of Sophia approaching us. "Sure, sweetheart." "Having fun?" "So much fun." I painted Mrs. Rodriguez's face like a butterfly. Sophia reached us, her smile tight. Lily, honey. I didn't know you'd be face painting today. You're so talented. Lily beamed, always eager for her mother's approval. Mom. Did you come to see my booth? Of course, darling. Richard and I wouldn't miss it. She turned to me with a cool nod. Jack. Sophia. Good to see you. The lie came easily after years of practice. Richard checked his watch, clearly bored. Soph, we should make an appearance at the silent auction. That spa package you wanted. In a minute, she said, her eyes fixed on Lily. Honey, what happened to the new shoes we bought you last weekend? Those look worn. Lily looked down at her sneakers, perfectly functional but admittedly showing some wear. Dad said we have to wait until next month to get new ones. I felt my face flush. The truth was, even with my new salary, I was still catching up on old debts and building an emergency fund before spending on non-essentials. Sophia's expression hardened. Next month? Really, Jack? They're fine for now, I said quietly. We're prioritizing. She gave a short, humorless laugh. Prioritizing. Right. She turned to Lily. Sweetie, go find your friends. The adults need to talk. Once Lily was out of earshot, Sophia's facade dropped. You got some big promotion months ago, and my daughter is still wearing worn-out shoes? Where is all that money going? Our daughter, I corrected, is doing just fine. And my finances aren't your concern anymore. That's when she stepped closer, jabbing her finger into my chest. You're nothing but a loser single dad who can't even afford new shoes for our daughter, she hissed. All that talk about your fancy new job, and you're still the same disappointment. This is why I left. I was aware of the parents nearby pretending not to listen, of Richard standing awkwardly to the side, of my own burning humiliation. I opened my mouth to respond when a calm, authoritative voice spoke from behind Sophia. Excuse me, but I believe you're talking about my boyfriend. Sophia whirled around to find herself face to face with Eliza Chen. I hadn't expected Eliza to come, she had mentioned a board meeting that afternoon, but there she was, looking effortlessly elegant in simple black pants and a silk blouse. You're, what? Sophia stammered. Eliza stepped forward, extending her hand. Eliza Chen. And you must be Sophia. Jack has mentioned you. Sophia took her hand automatically, her eyes widening with recognition. Everyone in the city knew who Eliza Chen was. You're Jack's boss. Among other things, Eliza said smoothly. And while I generally don't discuss my employees' compensation, I feel compelled to correct your misunderstanding. Jack is one of the most talented creative directors I've ever worked with. His recent campaign increased our market share by 12%. She slipped her arm through mine with casual intimacy. As for his priorities, Jack is establishing a college fund for Lily and rebuilding his financial security after the divorce. I find his responsibility admirable. Sophia's face had gone pale. Richard, suddenly interested, stepped forward. Ms. Chen, I'm Richard Davenport. My development company has been hoping to connect with Horizon Technologies about your new campus expansion. Eliza gave him a polite but dismissive smile. Our real estate department handles those inquiries, Mr. Davenport. I'm sure they have your information on file. She turned back to me. Jack, Lily mentioned wanting to show me her face painting station. Shall we? As we walked away, I felt Sophia's eyes burning into my back. You didn't have to do that, I murmured. Eliza squeezed my arm. I know. But no one talks to you that way. Not anymore. Later that evening, after the fundraiser ended and we'd taken Lily for ice cream, Eliza and I sat on my small porch while Lily watched a movie inside. Did you mean it? I asked. When you called me your boyfriend? Eliza looked up at the stars, a small smile playing on her lips. I'm not in the habit of saying things I don't mean, Jack. It's just, you're you. And I'm a talented, dedicated father who makes me laugh and challenges me to think differently, she interrupted. Don't define yourself by her limitations, Jack. I certainly don't. She took my hand, her fingers intertwining with mine. I didn't plan this, you know. Office romances are messy. Dating a single parent is complicated. But here we are. Here we are, I echoed, still not quite believing my luck. For what it's worth, she added, I think Lily needs new soccer cleats more than she needs new sneakers. She mentioned trying out for the team. I laughed. Of course she told you that. She's been lobbying for weeks. Smart girl. Takes after her father. 6 months later, life looks nothing like I imagined it would after my divorce. Lily and I still live in our modest house. I refused Eliza's offer to help with a down payment on something bigger, but we're happy. Eliza spends most weekends with us, teaching Lily about constellations in our backyard and challenging me to become better every day. Sophia's attitude has undergone a remarkable transformation. She's unfailingly polite now, especially after Eliza helped connect her with a women's business mentorship program she runs. People can change when given the chance, another lesson Eliza taught me. Last week, as Eliza and I were making dinner while Lily did homework at the kitchen table, I caught myself thinking, this is what happiness feels like. Not the flashy trappings of success that Sophia chased, but this quiet moment of belonging. What are you thinking about? Eliza asked, catching my thoughtful expression. Just that life takes unexpected turns, I said. 3 years ago, I thought my life was over when Sophia left. Now I realize it was just beginning. Eliza smiled, the smile that still makes my heart skip. That's the thing about rock bottom, Jack. It's a solid foundation to build on. And that's exactly what we're doing, building something real, one day at a time. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that reminds us all that our worth isn't defined by others' opinions. Sometimes life's greatest plot twists come when we least expect them, and the people who underestimate us give us the perfect opportunity to rise. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.